What is going on out there, fishing fam? Ray Sharifi here with the Dirty Hookers. Today we're doing something a little different for the channel that I've actually never filmed. I've actually never even done this in general, so I'm really excited. I've always wanted to do this. Today we're going lobster fishing. Today I'm going to be fishing with Jamie. You might remember him from our bluefin fishing video. He was on that trip with us. Hopefully we end up getting a bunch of lobster, and if so, we'll be able to do a catch and cook for you guys. I've got a beautiful drive ahead of me, and I'll check back in with you guys on the boat. That's Pride Skipjack.
Oh, Pride Skipjack. Oh, I was on that trip.
Going in. Oh, I got a crab. Oh, and a lobster. There we go. Oh, baby spider crab. And a lobster.
You gotta put it right there.
Right between the horns?
Yeah, right on the carapace. This is the carapace from this hard thing.
Okay.
And you hook it right on the carapace and you go back. And this is also the carapace, so that counts right there, but that does not, anything past there. So he's quite a bit short.
Alright, so we gotta throw him back?
Yeah.
Check him out. Drop him down.
Nice.
Yep, I'm going.
Okay. The short side we want, right there, lobster. And he is, oh!
Just legal.
Legit!
So we actually ended the night with 2 legals, and Jamie was kind enough to send me off with both of them. Really appreciate that, Jamie. Thank you for getting me out there on my first lobster. Really stoked about that. And now we're gonna go ahead and cook them up. I'll transfer the camera over to my pops, and he's gonna run you through what we are doing tonight.
What's happening, everybody? Here's another episode of Cooking with Chef Eddie. I'm really stoked to put these lobsters that are less than 24 hours old. And for you guys, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a homemade seafood pizza. May sound weird, but it's really good. I haven't made it in forever, and we're about to make it right now. Let me kind of show you what we're working with today. As Ray was talking about, we have these 2 lobsters that he caught. We're gonna go ahead and separate them, cook them, and we're gonna show you the steps that we did to do that. I've got 2 pounds of jumbo shrimp. I've got like a garlic herb, garlic salt. For the base, instead of pizza sauce, we're using 4 cheese Alfredo, and we're using a pesto sauce. We're gonna marry these 2 together, and they're gonna make it really flavorful. I've got some mozzarella cheese, and then just got a traditional Pillsbury pizza crust dough, which what we've done, we've got one over here, and I've got some cornmeal that I sprinkled on the bottom, so it'll make it non-stick, easy pliable. You can see that we moved it, and I just put it in here and I cooked it for about 6 minutes, so that way it'll be somewhat firm, so then that way we can start getting everything ready. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and separate it. So 1 hand on the body, 1 hand on the tail, and in one swoop, you're gonna do a twist. And be careful, as you can see, liquid will come out. Is we're gonna go ahead and break off one of these tentacles from the lobster, okay? And then we're gonna go ahead and about halfway down, right when it starts getting thicker, we're gonna break it off there. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna poop it. So here's this clear hole right here. We're gonna go ahead and poop it, put this right up the middle there. Give it a nice little twist. You can see it comes right out. Now you've got a lobster tail that's completely ready to eat, and then we'll go ahead and take it off the skin. So the next thing we want to do is turn it upside down. Get a nice pair of some cooking shears. We're going to come right over here, and we're going to start breaking the shell on the very bottom. Whole purpose we're going to do this, go all the way down to the tail, is we want to separate the meat. Loosen it up. Get your thumb right behind it. Loosen it up here on the back side, all the way down. pull out. You can, if you have some delicate hands or you don't really want to get in there and possibly get cut up, you can cut up the middle just like you did here. Repeat the process, cut the top side of it as well, and then it'll come out like a V, and then you can pull from both sides as well. The only risk is sometimes you cut the meat gets kind of like all mangled, but I wanted it in one piece. All right guys, so what we're getting ready to do is we're gonna prepare our lobster, so that way we can put it on my electric skillet here. It's kind of dark outside, a little chilly, so no big deal. I want to bake it in the oven. So I just want to par cook these about medium rare. We're not going to cook it fully because it's going to cook in my oven at about 450 degrees. While I'm prepping the lobster, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my shrimp on. For my shrimp, I just use a little bit of olive oil, my garlic seasoning here, some garlic salt, and some minced garlic. Season to your taste, so the measurement's going to be up to you. I use this Tupperware here because I can throw it all in there, cover it up, give it a good shake, and it does it all for me. So work smart, not hard. Get your skillet nice and hot, just dump them on there. That's what you're looking for right there. In fact, once they start turning color on the other side, you want to flip them, and then once they're orange, yeah, they're done. A rule of thumb too is this: if they make like almost like a knuckle or a complete circle, like they make a circle when they're orange, that's overcooked. So you want to get it just before they're touching. So for this amount, for 2 pounds of shrimp, I'm probably going to cook it about 2 minutes per side, and then we're going to transfer it over. And then by that time, I'm going to take it off and then transfer my lobster over there. So while that thing's getting ready, just before we flip it, let's go ahead and get the lobster ready. And it's going to be the same ingredients when we add to our pizza. So I'm going to take my olive oil, I'm just going to give it a little coat, okay, just enough to get on both sides. Okay, didn't need much there. Going to add some of my garlic herb, okay, before I flip it, garlic salt. Let me just pat that down. Turn it over, repeat the cycle. Doesn't matter what goes on first. You don't need a lot, because remember, once we put it on the pizza, I'm going to add some more spices on there as well too. Alright guys, it's been about a total of about 4 minutes, 4 1/4. If I was looking to serve them, if I was making like steak and shrimp or tacos or whatever, I'd probably cook them a little bit longer, but again, it's going to go in my oven, so this is good enough. And if I was really nervous, but I didn't want them to be too tough, I would still take them off and I would cover them. And as you can see, they're steaming right there. So if you tent it with some foil or another cover, it'll basically cook it internally there. Cover it up for another 2 minutes and it would be perfect. Now it's time for the lobsters to jump in there and have some little fun. This one I'm going to add a little bit of butter. Normally I add it to my shrimp when I'm cooking it. Just give it a little taste. I just didn't want to be too buttery because we are going to use an Alfredo sauce for the base and it will be rich. So I didn't want to use a lot of butter. So I'm just using a little bit here. Kind of get that pan nice and ready. You can see it's still nice and hot, bubbling up. That's what you're looking for. And let's go ahead and add our lobster tails. So right now, this has been about 1.5 minutes, going on 2 minutes. I'm more concerned about this guy's a little thicker, but you can see it'll start turning color. It'll start turning white. That's good, showing you that that side's about done. Plus, it's almost going to make like an upside down U, because it's going to start showing that that's when the meat, it's kind of weird. When the meat starts cooking, the tail will start coming up to an upside down U. So I like the way that it looks like right now, so I'm going to go ahead and flip it over. Oh yeah, man. That's what we're looking for right there. That's some goodness right there. So you can kind of see it's already making that U. It wants to curl. That's a good explanation there. And if I really, really want to, and I think I'm going to do this, I'm going to go ahead and come in here, cut it in half, because this one's a little bit thicker. Open it up some more there, and then we'll probably flip it over again. Do the same thing here. So we're getting there. We're getting close. So I've got my shrimp, I've got my lobster, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a rough chop. I want good, hunky, bite-sized morsels when I'm eating that pizza. When I take a bite into there, I want to be able to taste the seafood. So I'm not going to finely dice it up. It's just going to be a rough chop. I'm going to mix it together, put it back in the bowl, and then I've made a Alfredo pesto sauce that we use for the base. Again, all I did was mix these two ingredients here. Did about a half a jar, to about a quarter jar of pesto, and I mix it together. Pesto is really strong flavor, so it all depends how pesto-y you want it, and then that would be up to you. But so I just did half to a quarter. All right, let's give this a rough chop. Let's go ahead and cut the lobster. Beautiful white flaky meat, tender, juicy. So as you can see here, I've got these two here, and what I'm going to do is take equal parts, kind of mix it up, just kind of see what that looks like there, and then if I need to, I'll go ahead and mix more. But what we're going to do, mix it together, let them have a good time. Then I'm going to transfer this back to the bowl. Let's go ahead and get the base down. Again, this is my 4-cheese Alfredo with pesto sauce mixed together. If you don't like pesto, leave it out. Just make it an Alfredo sauce. Let's go ahead and just dump some of this. I usually start it in the middle here. Okay, always start with less. Spread it around. Get it to a crust to crust. Oh yeah, this is what we're looking for right here. So good. You can see I still have left over there. I saved that there because I'm gonna do a little drizzle on the top. That'll be our secret. When you make this, do it the same, and that way you got a nice flavorful bite throughout. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add some cheese. There is no measurement. This is to your liking. So I'm gonna start in the middle, work my way around. I'm gonna spread it around. You can see I've got parchment paper. The reason I'm using that, if you have parchment paper, butcher paper, whatever, it's going to be easier to transfer out to the cutting board. Just makes it super easier, so that way you don't have to get a hot pad and maneuver around. Just makes it super easy. Okay, so that's a good amount of cheese there. Now let's go add the stars of the show, the lobster and the shrimp. I'll put that on there. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about there. Put that on there. So as I mentioned, we're just going to hit it with the same spices that we used just to make it flavorful throughout the bite. So taking my extra virgin olive oil, just going to drizzle across. Nothing fancy, just a little bit there. I'm going to take my garlic herb, drizzle there. I'm not going to use the garlic salt because this is good enough here. Then I'm going to take my cheese, take like a handful, just going to drizzle, nothing too crazy. Just want to kind of give it a top layer. And then we're going to finish it with some drizzle of the sauce. Again, there's no appropriate measurements. There's no right or wrong. Skip this step, keep the step. I want it because I want to be able to make sure it just melts and just kind of gets in there throughout. Even on the crust, I'm going to go heavy there. Oh man, so good. It's just that you can smell that pesto. It's going in the oven at 500 on convection. We're gonna put that in there for about 9 minutes. All right guys, moment of truth. This is what 9 minutes in the oven, seafood pizza. I'm excited. Let's go ahead and transfer this baby over. So you can see with my hand, I'm able to get this parchment paper, lift it up, no problem. What we're gonna do is slide it over. That's the benefit of the parchment paper. I don't know what I was more excited about, this or waiting for Christmas, but I'm putting this on top of the list because this is really, I'm just ready to get in there. As you can see, we already got into it. We plated it up, poured ourselves some Sculpin beers, and we're gonna get in there and taste it up. So here is our seafood pizza. And I do have some traditional condiments out here if you want to put some Parmesan cheese. If you're into that like Tapatio, hot sauce, some crushed red peppers. But you know what? There's so much Flavor Town going on right now here. I'm just going in. I know you guys know what I'm going to say, man. It's really good. This is really good. Holy hell. All right, Ray. Tell me what you think.
That's really good. I'm stoked to finally, for the first time ever, go out lobster fishing, catch a lobster, and within 24 hours later, it's right here on the plate, and it's bomb.
Guys, how often when we're making recipes and whatever do you see us going back in for a second bite or more? Be so excited about this. I'm telling you out there, if you watch a lot of my cooking videos and what have you, I put this up there in the top 3. This is money right here. And if you have the benefit to go catch some fresh lobster, a Maine lobster, you have lobster at your grocery store, pick some up, add some shrimp, make it your own. Add some clams if you want to, add some mussel. But this combination of lobster and shrimp and the Alfredo sauce with the pesto and the mozzarella cheese, I'm just telling you, it's to die for. Getting a homemade pizza dough yourself, whether you make it, some of the stores have it. If you're gonna use that or use what I use, the Pillsbury crust, I just add a little bit of cornmeal on the bottom so it's nice and slick. Use the butcher paper or the parchment paper, that way it's easy to move around. And guys, you will be glad you made this dish. Please make it tomorrow. Send us some comments, let us know what you thought about it, because this was really good. And to that, guys, we're gonna cheers on out of here. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you next time.